Are you looking for your next beach getaway? To a place with jaw-dropping scenery, golden sanded, soft beaches, picturesque villages, good surfing, and a vibe ranging from total tranquility to intense partying? Well, I've got the perfect place for you, the world-famous Algarve. And before we kick it off to the first place, make sure to like and subscribe, as this will help my channel out and it'll help you, more importantly, find the best travel content. This may come as a surprise that the famous Benagil Caves are number 10 on my list, but that's not a knock on this beautiful cave/beach, just that it's typically included in many all-day and half-day tours that just take you to the outside of the cave where you can't even see the beach. However, I do recommend that you visit the cave as a part of the 7 Hanging Valleys hike that also made this list, so stay tuned for that, where you can hike to the top of it and see the beach from a nice vantage point. And here's a pro tip for you: while you can no longer take guided kayak tours to get to the beach, you still can rent a kayak from the town of Benagil right on the beach and kayak there yourself. It's actually not that far. Here you can see a guy stand up paddling from the beach, and he even has a buddy right next to him swimming. You'll have the cave all to yourself, which is a special experience, but I can't officially sanction this because it does require some degree of skill and a bit of courage. I give the Benagil Caves a 7.5 out of 10 overall. They're a bit overrated, and nowadays all the tours just go right outside to the cave, but it's well worth it to see as part of a hike or to get there by yourself. If you're looking for a really off the beaten path beach that's peaceful, relatively secluded, spacious, and comes with an interesting geological feature, then I have the spot for you, Praia da Amoreira. This large, expansive, beautiful beach in the northwestern portion of the Algarve is located about 40 minutes from Lagos and feels like it's in a completely different world from the rest of the region. Beaches here are much less crowded and cater more towards surfers, families, and people who want peace and quiet in general. Beyond surfing, the Algarve River meets the southern part of the beach and is highly swimmable, especially if you don't feel like swimming in the colder ocean water. It also stretches pretty far back, so you can be sure to get your space. There's also a nice cafe that overlooks the entire beach that's well worth stopping at. Overall, I rate this beach a 7.75 out of 10. It isn't a flashy beach, but it's beautiful and a place in the Algarve where you can find peace and tranquility, which can be hard to come by. I recommend spending a couple hours to a full day here. There's also a lot of other similar beaches around that are pretty cool to check out. I consider the number 8 spot the southern gateway of the more off the beaten path section of the incredibly popular Algarve region, Sagres. Not only is Sagres the gateway of a more hidden gem area, but also of a different and distinct geological part of the region. The main thing to do here is to go to the lighthouse, which is at the southwesternmost tip of all of Europe, and watch a great sunset. Beyond that, I recommend going surfing and or beaching in the many hidden gem beaches that are close by, such as Praia do Castelejo or Praia do Amado, which are surfers' paradises. I also recommend having a meal in town. We went to Villa Velha, which is pretty good. Overall, I give Sagres an 8 out of 10. It's a lot less flashy than the other towns in the area, but that can be a good thing. It's great for surfing and finding other hidden gems. And if you're not staying here, you could spend a half day or so, and I recommend making that half day the latter part of the day so you can watch the sunset. Next up is a beautiful whitewashed former fisherman village on the southern Algarve coast that transformed into a major holiday destination, especially for the British, the famous or infamous Albufeira. Located a 40-minute drive or a 45-minute train ride from the nearest airport in Faro, Albufeira makes a great place to make as your home base in the region. The town itself is located on top of a low cliff that offers gorgeous views over the grand beach and stunning waters, and is worth spending part of a day exploring the many winding streets that are filled with bars, restaurants, cafes, and shops. The beautiful golden sanded beach is the highlight and is flanked by the magical rock formations that are typical of the region, and is as well accommodated as you'd expect from a major beach resort town in southern Europe. And it even includes an escalator. Beyond spending the day at the beach or grabbing some pints in the old town, there are a bunch of destinations and tours to take, such as Benagil, dolphin tours, and heading to more relaxed and chill beaches, or doing epic hikes that I'll get to later in the video. Overall, I give Albufeira an 8.5 out of 10. I'll be frank, this is a major tourist destination, and for good reason. It's beautiful, fun, well accommodated, and convenient. And if you expect to have a quiet and secluded time at the beach, you're in the wrong spot. One of my favorite parts of the Algarve region is a much less known and out of the way area packed with stunning and unique landscapes that, as I hinted in the Sagres section, is distinctly different from the more famous parts of the region, Estrada da Praia. Located about 40 minutes by car from Lagos, this less than 10-kilometer scenic loop takes you down a dirt road from Praia da Amoreira, an awesome and beautiful beach known for surfing, to Praia da Amoreira, another awesome and beautiful surf beach, or vice versa, and contains 10 stops which are marked by huge letters. The stops showcase the gorgeous, rugged, and harsh western Algarve landscape that makes the coastline in the more popular areas look gentle and tame by comparison. Another thing I really liked about this area was how tranquil and secluded it felt, which was a strong juxtaposition to the much more touristy and built-up regions of the Algarve. Overall, I give this scenic loop an 8.6 out of 10. It's a stunning and unique place and a great way to escape the crowds. I'd give this area a half day to a full day, especially if you want to make it a beach day on one of the awesome beaches. Coming in at the midway point is a place located just 10 minutes by car outside of Albufeira, and was one of the most surprising and special areas that I visited, Praia de Rafael. If you want a stunning prototypical Algarve beach but with a much more relaxed atmosphere that isn't too far away, I absolutely recommend coming here. The beach speaks for itself and is a perfect place to spend at least part of a day, and when you get hungry, there's a great restaurant right on the beach where you can still soak in all the views. After eating here, or if you want some exercise in general, I recommend going for a hike on the western side of the beach. I originally thought that this was a hike to the top of the western rock formation to get a nice view, but I was wrong. There is about a 30-minute one-way relaxed hike on a stunning coastline that ends up at a secret beach, unlike I've ever seen before, that's nestled inside of a well-eroded rock formation. This is a must-do if you're here, and a must-do if you're in the Algarve. I give Praia de Rafael an 8.7 out of 10. This is a stunning and relaxing beach that is uber distance from Albufeira, with a solid restaurant and a great and easy hike to a special little beach. This definitely warrants the better part of a day. Next up is one of the most popular and historic towns in the Algarve region, and for great reason, given it has some of the region's best beaches and rock formations. It's Lagos. Lagos is a good alternative home base to Albufeira, and one I personally recommend if you want a place that's a bit less focused on the night scene and a bit more peaceful. But rest assured, if you want to party, the party's here. Lagos is great because it serves as a convenient home base to pretty much all of the main attractions in this video, but also has a lot to do and see within the town itself. The old town isn't anything to write home about, but nearby are some really nice beaches to spend some time in. I personally recommend visiting Praia dos Estudantes, which is a small but beautiful beach located very close to the town center and is known for the highly Instagrammable Roman-style bridge. Another beach I recommend visiting is a bit further from the center and therefore more relaxed, Praia da Dona Ana, which has more space and a more chill vibe, while still being another stunning and easily accessible beach within the town. Lastly, I recommend checking out the Ponta da Piedade. Is a headland with a series of stunning yellow-golden cliff-like rock formations all along the coastline, and I recommend watching the sunset from here. Overall, I give Lagos an 8.75 out of 10. It's an active and convenient town with beautiful beaches right in the city and a great place to watch the sunset. You can't go wrong with making this your home base, and if you don't stay in Lagos, it at least warrants a full day. Kicking off the top 3 is the most impressive beach I saw throughout my entire time in the Algarve, and definitely one of the most beautiful. It's Praia dos Três, Irmãos, or the beach of the three brothers. This incredible beach, just 30 minutes outside of Lagos by car, gets its name from its magnificent and domineering sea stack rock formations that divide this part of the greater Algarve beach into 3 sections. The beach is obviously beautiful, the sand golden, and the water is pretty, but the coolest thing about this beach to me is that amongst and within the sea stacks on the beach lies a bunch of different caves and caverns and pathways to walk through and explore, typically during low tide, which was something unique to me and makes a day at the beach a bit more exciting. I give Praia dos Três Irmãos a 9 out of 10. This beach was the perfect combination of beauty, impressive landscape, and fun and adventure, and is a great place to spend a couple hours to a full day. The runner-up is probably my favorite town that I visited in the entire Algarve and flies completely under the radar. It's Odeceixe. This is absolutely one of the most beautiful beaches in the entire Algarve and a complete hidden gem. This pretty seaside village is at the far extreme northwest of the region and is elevated on the cliff that overlooks the stunning horseshoe-shaped beach that's flanked by incredible rock formations. The village is tiny and has a few restaurants with incredible views overlooking the beach, which is the main highlight here. And the beach is another great place to surf and a great place for families. And it's also met with the river Odeceixe. Overall, I give Odeceixe a 9.25 out of 10. It's truly a one-of-one village, and the beach is unbelievably stunning. And I recommend spending a couple hours here to a full day. And finally, the number 1 spot is considered one of the best hikes in all of Portugal and is absolutely a place you cannot miss when in the Algarve, the 7 Hanging Valleys Trail. This 6-kilometer or roughly 4-mile one-way route is known for its breathtaking scenery. It offers jaw-dropping views of the rugged coast, limestone cliffs, picturesque beaches, and natural caves, and is of moderate difficulty. The trail starts at the famous and gorgeous Madeira beach, which is 30 minutes away from Albufeira by car and 40 minutes from Lagos by car. You can spend some time at the beach if you'd like, and the hike gives you a great view of it. Continuing on the hike on top of the magnificent cliffs, you'll find that you'll reach the top of the Benagil Cave in about 40 minutes. As I mentioned before, since tours no longer go onto the beach, this is a great alternative to see the cave, which is a very small but pretty beach. The town of Benagil has a beautiful beach that's worth spending time on, and continuing more on the hike are more picturesque beaches, coves, and rock formations until you reach the end, which is at the town of Carvoeiro, which also has a nice beach. The hike overall takes about 2 hours, but you could make it a full day experience. And a pro tip, instead of hiking the 2 hours back and seeing the exact same scenery, you can get an Uber back to Madeira Beach, which costs, I think, a little as €8. Overall, I give this hike a 9.5 out of 10. It's such a beautiful, special hike that's jam-packed with the pure beauty of the Algarve. Give yourself at least a half day for the full experience. Well, that wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my picks and ratings, and if you liked the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on learning more about your next travel destination.